So Bessie Jones used to come to our house back in the 70s, and she would always go out in the backyard and look for herbs for making medicine. Let's see here. She would find something she called fever weed. I wasn't, I should have gotten the botanical name for it, but she said it stops a fever right in its tracks. And, since she knew all this stuff about herbs and things, I asked her, in these old blues songs, they always talk about a black cat bone. What's that all about? I said, yeah, turn that down a little bit. Oops. She said, first you get some black cat bones, and then you take them to the river, and you throw them in the river. That's got to be the whole skeleton, all the bones. And whichever bone floats upstream against the current, that's the one with the magic in it. And you take that one, and you grind it up, and you can make a mojo. A little more up here for me if I can. So I got to talk to my friend Big Joe Williams. Big Joe Williams, some of you remember from back in the 60s. He was a pretty well-known blues singer from Crawford, Mississippi. He is the guy that wrote Baby Please Don't Go. Baby Please Don't Go. Baby Please Don't. That the Rolling Stones and a lot of other people recorded. But he didn't give a hoot about money. He still came to the festivals. In fact, if you look at that guitar right there, he brought that guitar, which Barbara Margolin had given him not long before this, in a gunny sack. And the pickup is all taped to the front with, Scotch tape and duct tape and stuff like that. And he would take this little amp that he had and screw a pie tin on the top of it, turn that thing up to 10, so it was as loud as it could go, and put beer cans in the top of the pie plate. And I said, do you just use any kind of beer cans? He said, I really like Jack's beer. I said, that's the worst beer in the world, Big Joe. He said, yeah, but the tone of the cans can't be beat. He'd turn that sucker all the way up, and the thing would almost dance off the stage and play these old tunes. But the fun part about Big Joe is he was one of those natural-born storytellers. Now, Big Joe had such a value of the truth. He valued the truth so much that he rarely used it in normal conversation. So you could never exactly know what Big Joe, if he was, completely right, but he would say things completely honestly, like it actually happened to him. And he had this mojo. Well, you can't see it from where you're sitting, but he has this little thing around his neck that was a mojo that he had. And I said, is that a mojo, Big Joe? He said, oh yeah, but it won't do nobody no harm. It's just a good luck mojo. He said, but I had a real mojo one time. I said, really? What was that about? He said, about 1928. I was playing on the streets of Memphis. A harmonica player come up and start playing with me. Well, we're doing pretty good, making some money. Policemen come up and arrest us for vagrancy and put us in jail. I say, I can't be in jail all week. My harmonica friend say, don't worry, Big Joe, we'll be out by midnight. Sure enough, midnight rolled around. He come up to that lock, take his mojo off his neck, just a little leather pouch, hold it up to the lock and blow across it, and that lock just open up. Old policeman asleep. We sneak by the policeman, I get my guitar, we hightail it out of there. When we get outside, I say, I gotta have me one of them mojos. So he told me about the hoodoo lady in St. Bernard Parish who made it for him. Well, I went down there. I expected her to be some kind of old witch or something. No, she's a pretty young girl. She said, what you want your mojo to do? I said, I want it to open locked doors, make me invisible, and be good with the women's. She said, well, I can make it open locked doors. I can make you be good with the women's, but I can't make you invisible. I can make you hard to recognize, though. I said, that'd be fine. So she take a black cat bone, she grind it up, she put some fingernails, and toenails, some hair, some spit, some blood, some herbs, all kind of stuff in that little leather sack, and she show it up, sew sew it up, put it on a string around my neck. Now let me tell you, son, that thing worked good. I was like a fox in the hen house in Crawford, Mississippi. There wasn't a woman within 50 miles of there safe from my charms. But every man in the county wanted to kill me. In fact, one of them tried. And my grandmama she said, Big Joe, that thing is of the devil. You need to get rid of that thing. Throw it away. It's going to be the death of you. Somebody already tried to kill you. You need to leave town and throw that thing away. So the next day, I hop a freight train and I'm going to Cincinnati. And I'm thinking about what grandmama say. And I take that mojo around my neck and I throw it out the door of the boxcar. I get to Cincinnati and I go to the little rooming house where I stay. And I'm putting my few things away. And that night I open up the drawer and there's that mojo, that self-same mojo, in that top drawer. Now that made me kind of uneasy. So the next morning I get up and I go down the Ohio River and I throw that mojo out as far as I can, watch it sink. Go play on the streets of Cincinnati that day, make myself some money. And I'm stopping to get myself a Coca-Cola, and I go in the store, I reach in my pocket. And there's that mojo in my pocket, still wet. Now I'm worried. The next morning I get up and I go down to the graveyard. And I see a grave that's being dug and a funeral about to happen. I wait to the end of the funeral. I stand there with my mojo while nobody's looking. I throw it under the casket. They lower that casket down, shovel all the dirt in on it. I wait till they get it all done, 6 feet under. I feel good now. First time I slept in days. But about midnight or so, I'm tossing and turning, and I reach down in the bed, and there's that mojo. Now I'm really worried. I'm going to get rid of that thing. So I go on the outskirts of Cincinnati and build myself a big old bonfire. Let the coals get hot as Hades. Then I stand back and I throw that mojo in that fire. Just a little leather pouch expected to just burn up, but it swell up. It get as big as a baseball, and then it get as big as a softball. And when it gets as big as a basketball, I start to run. And that thing blow up and knock me face down in the dirt. I come back and look, and there's a hole as big as a wash tub where that thing blew up. Well, after that, I couldn't open any locked doors. I wasn't invisible, but I still good with women's. So I got a song out of that thing. You want to hear that? Yeah, Big Joe. How'd that go? I'm gonna roll my britches just above my knees. Good God, mama, have a good time, Jubilee. Tell me who's been fooling you? Well, you're 3 times 7, baby. Well, my mama told me one thing, my papa said the same. Keep on running around, boy, gonna have to change your name. Tell me who's been fooling you? Well, you're 3 times 7, baby, don't know what to do. Well, I told you once this morning, ain't gonna tell you no more. Keep on running around, boy, going from door to door. Tell me who